Hello there, everybody. Hello, big fans of What Culture Wrestling. Adam Cleary and Adam Nicholas here with you this bright, really bright Tuesday morning to talk to you about Raw Reunion. That was a thing that happened and we got all excited for it and then we sat and we watched it and then at the end we're just like, we should probably do a video on this because there are many talking points, seldom few of them any good, to be completely honest with you. I want to start by saying, do you remember when we got to do the news video announcing this and we said, ooh, they might do some legend killer gimmicks, or ooh, they might really use this to put over the current roster of talent using the old roster of talent.
What a wonderful opportunity this would be to help everything that's currently happening on Raw.
It didn't exactly go down that way. Now, don't get me wrong, it was a fun show. They packed it full of fun, creative-ish segments. We got to see loads of old faces in settings new and familiar with the new faces, and I don't really know where to start with all of this. Should we start with the positives?
Yeah, look, let's try. The whole idea, we thought we'd try and focus on the positives with this, because it's very easy to be negative about it. We'll get to that, I'm sure.
Yeah. Let's start with the positives. The 24/7 stuff was really good.
Yes.
And Adam Wilborn correctly predicted that Ted DiBiase would buy the 24/7 championship.
He did, very good. Basically, that, for me, was a nice through point throughout. It gives you the backstage segments of these things tend to be the better parts, I guess.
Yeah, because they get a few goes to film them, don't they? As we know from doing our own wrestling shows, you can retake, you can
try
work
again.
on it on the fly.
I mean, there was still a few of them who felt like there was just no chemistry there whatsoever. Standing in the back, kind of, you know, like the Kelly Kellys and the Alicia Foxes, and they're all just kind of milling about. Jillian Hall was there, and I'm not actually sure she said a single word throughout the whole thing. There was people there, as a wall of people in the background, I guess, some of them nice. We got an appearance from The Godfather, did a little dance with Charlie Caruso, which was excruciating. Yep.
Yeah, that happened.
We got all sorts, but mostly the story that was good was Drake Maverick, obviously running around trying to get the belt, obviously nicked it off R-Truth at the beginning. This stuff was a nice thing that happened on the show alongside. Let's call it that. And I guess a perfect way to tie all these legends together. However,
I will say that the 24/7 championship stuff is normally the best thing about Raw.
Yes.
At the minute, so flying all these people in from all over the world, all over the United States, and I'm sure at great expense to WWE and the network, just to make the segment that's usually good also really good, is a bit of a waste. And it's not like many of them, aside from the DiBiase's the main takeaway thing from it, but it's not like a lot of them did anything majorly memorable.
It was worth noting, we did get our first women's 24/7 champion.
Congratulations to Carmella.
If only it had been Carmella.
It wasn't.
Sadly not, mate.
It wasn't.
Imagine the woman who's worked so hard to help put this belt over.
Part of the creative.
Kelly is your first women's first female 24/7 champion, which was interesting. Followed swiftly by a whole host of others, including Candice Michelle, Alundra Blaze.
Yeah.
I think there might have been somebody else in there as well. I can't think. But also, we got Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe both got their shot at being the 24/7 champion, which I'm not against at all.
I'm not against, but I've said repeatedly, people need to stop treating this 24/7 championship like the hardcore title. It's a very different thing. It needs to exist under its own terms. But now that I've seen Patterson and Briscoe both hold it, it is effectively just Crash Holly's hardcore title for me now.
Stooges are going to stooge. At the end of the day, that's what they're there for. It's the whole point of it.
There was other positives. Austin's promo was good.
Yes, so Austin's promo, I would say, was probably the best of some bad stuff. It was this real dystopian thing going on at the end for me, where it was like all of the guys were lined up at the very end of the show on stage, and you had Ric Flair come out initially, then everybody else came out, then Hulk Hogan came out, really, and cut a brother promo, brother, etc. You know the usual. Hulk Hogan. Let me tell you about all the great things I've done here.
Not to go massively down this route, but did you see Triple H shooting daggers into the back of him?
Yes, but did you more importantly see Triple H refuse to take his hands out of his pockets because he didn't want to be shown in any way, shape or form to be given some form of endorsement of this man. Shawn Michaels finally buckled in the end, I think, after Ric Flair and Hogan had a bit of it and he gave him like a tiny clap. But he was having, when he goes Jack and said Jack, HBK was just looking good. In the background, like taking the piss. Kevin Nash was at the side doing his little, like for the whole thing basically, just doing the royal wave because he didn't think he was in shock pretty much. That was weird. That felt very like what we could see in Saudi Arabia very quickly for one of those shows. That's what it felt like. Alicia Fox right in the middle there as well.
Right.
Main roster member Alicia Fox.
Okay, someone clarify this Alicia Fox thing for me, because she was announced as being one of the legends coming back for the Raw Reunion show. Did she retire and I missed that?
I honestly don't have an answer for you. I don't think they have an answer. She's just there because she has hats. And it was good.
She's crazy.
But yes, Stone Cold did finish off that segment, and it was the best of the bunch.
Yes.
It still wasn't amazing. I would like to have seen him doing some stunners and stuff, but he didn't do any of that. He just cut a nice promo at the end and basically talked like a house show, essentially talked them off the air. But there were other positives. There were other positives that were actually more relevant, I think. Not just the stuff from the old guys, but pertaining to new guys, Adam Cleary. Specifically,
Bray Wyatt.
There you go.
So I thought I couldn't think of any positives. It's good though. I mean, the Bray Wyatt segment is good because it's nice to see Foley. Obviously, I think he deserved something for being the person who had to come out and deliver the 24/7 championship.
Absolutely.
Back when it was considered a hugely underwhelming thing. He deserved a nice little moment, and he was, as you say, the only guy to put over the younger talent. Wyatt attacked him. There's a possibility he's adopted his mandible claw finish.
Quite possibly. So obviously he came out to attack Foley. And fair play, by the way. Foley must just be sort of talking to the guys in the back. I think Michael Hamflett said it. He's like, the only guy who's going, guys, maybe we should, there's quite a lot of us in the back here. Maybe we should put somebody over. Put some of the new guys over. So Bray Wyatt comes out, hits Foley with the mandible claw, essentially. But I think it was notable that he did it with his hurt hand as well. The hurt glove hand got there. So we're not sure. Maybe this is a new finisher that Bray Wyatt's got. And if it is, that's quite a donation.
Is the other one just the heel hand where he just gently caresses
just to sleep.
What's it going to be? It's in the match. What's it going to be? Heel.
To be fair, though, in terms of something that would add a sinister edge to that character, not that it needs it, that's great for me. On the hurt hand, gets the mandible claw. I'm interested in this.
Is the light gimmick when he's attacking people going to get old fast? Because I'm kind of into it now, but if you listen to it back with a sound, the crowd after about 30 seconds of it are like...
Well, those pops have been great so far, but you're right, the light bits at the moment take a while, and he does like a bit of a hesitation every now and again before he does his thing. I've written down here that the hype is real, but we've been here before. And I think that's probably the fairest way. I really am getting into this gimmick, and that usually means something terrible is going to happen and they're going to ruin it. I don't want them to ruin it. It's gone well so far. Wyatt, for me, has come out of this one of the only members, in fact, maybe the only member of the current roster who has had any form of positivity on him whatsoever from that show.
Well, you say that. One person who got to hang out with his big old dad was Seth Rollins. Because you remember how they wrestled AJ Styles?
Yes, I do.
And then the club sort of came in, the OC, I should say, rather, came in. And they beat everybody up. But then they were like, no, not Shawn Michaels.
They were worried about Shawn Michaels.
I think they just attacked Rollins. And then Shawn Michaels, God bless him, obviously a legendary wrestler, but now what is effectively a tired old man gets into the ring and like, oh, don't hurt us, Shawn.
For people who aren't aware, basically, the club were going to beat up Seth Rollins because that's what they do. DX came down, Triple H, Shawn Michaels.
They were already there. That's what I couldn't get my head around.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. In the middle of the match, we're already there to come down to support him. We'll not even get into that because, you know, when it's one of these episodes, you let go of all the plot holes.
It's not canon,
You're happy with that. That's fine. Basically, we ended up at a point where the club and DX and Seth all came to the bust at the end. They were terrified of these two old men. Sorry, can I just stop you
there? Have you seen Shawn Michaels' punches?
Yes, I have.
Just getting him in the arm.
Just little, get his knuckle, give him a little dead arm. And then, terrified by the fact that, of course, the rest of DX came because you couldn't be in a reunion episode, a celebrity episode without DX turning up. And Road Dogg turned up.
Yep.
Solid member of D-Generation X. X-Pac turned up. Solid member. Billy Gunn obviously wasn't there because he has other commitments. AEW. And then those other two DX
famous
members.
DX members, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash.
Scott Hall and Kevin Nash came down wearing NWO t-shirts. Of course, not that I'm against seeing Nash and Hall because they're always good fun to see. And I noticed that Hall had like a different variant on the jacket he had for Raw 25.
He must have two jackets. We can take that from this. You can see exactly the moment, can't you? The backstage, right? So Waltman's handing out the t-shirts, right? And he goes to Hall and Nash and he goes, right, because we're going to do a bit of a DX bit. Obviously, people will be a bit weird with it, but it's just a bit of fun. Here's a DX t-shirt and Nash will have been like, I'm getting what cut of this tonight? Obviously, they're in the merch stand.
Oh,
See,
you're paying for that top.
You get a cut, and you get a cut,
Yeah.
and those two in the ring get a cut. What cut do I get for wearing
What
these?
do I get?
Oh, well.
New knees?
Oh, we can't really give you a cut of the DX t-shirt. Right, I'll be wearing an NWO t-shirt then.
I like that throughout the whole thing, I tried to figure it out and it just dawned on me. They couldn't call them the NWO because they needed Hulk Hogan to finish
Yeah,
that.
so
So they're referring to them as the Click, but they were wearing the NWO t-shirts. Either way, basically what we've come out of this is the club are terrified of old men. More importantly, Seth Rollins is the biggest, and I used to love this man with all my heart. Seth Rollins is the biggest dork in the whole bloody universe.
Right
His
now.
promo about Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar. He's doing all this stuff. He's saying he's got a red head. Come on, Seth.
prepared for that.
How old are you? You're like 5 years old, mate. And speaking of 5-year-olds, doesn't know what to do when a bunch of people go in for a huddle because all of the guys.
Can we cut to this image, please?
Cut to this image. The NWO, DX, all get together for a
that's so
group hug.
bad.
And who sat on the end without any pals? Who's just literally called Baron Corbin Captain No Mates or whatever he called him. Seth Rollins standing there like a dweeb. Yes, they let him in at the
And
end.
they let him do the if you want to downwheel
Yeah, with that, you can. You know what it is? I'm done. I'm done with that guy. But you know,
It's just
does that put over anybody in that Seth
overall,
or the club?
and we saw this with Raw 25, right? It was a big banter show where a lot of people got to fly in, and you kind of guess with the egos involved, they kind of sell them on these appearances by, look, we'll give you something fun to do.
Yeah.
We'll give you something cool to do. You'll get to have a little moment that you can put on all your socials and look cool, and all of your fans will really like.
Yeah.
And, you know, to hell with the guys we're trying to promote. And it was naive of any of us not to expect the same thing here.
I have to say, I was expecting, after Raw 25, I will never love again. So I've weathered my expectations. I just kind of hoped a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I'm not really surprised. This felt like a very
It was
by the numbers
It
thing.
was what it was. It was WWE 2019, bashing the nostalgia button
Yeah.
as hard as they
Yeah.
can, and all the other stuff be damned. Rollins, they will think they've put Rollins over by letting him be a part of
I
this.
do, yeah.
They have not.
They have not. Not in my eyes, certainly not.
They will think that everybody involved with the 24/7 championship is over a bit more, which I guess they are because they're involved in the fun segment. They will just think that it is an honour for people to get dicked on by these old guys.
I do get it as performers. It probably is great for them, but then you've got to think longer term. Like you've got to protect yourself in that way. It's like look at Stone Cold. He won't come back and do something like terrible.
He
He'll
did
only
say
do.
he wasn't going to ride off into the sunset just yet.
No, I realise that, but what I'm saying is he would come back and he wouldn't just let his character be shat on and get sort of like Stone Cold just gets F5 by Brock Lesnar. It's not going to happen, is it? Because Stone Cold wants to keep that legacy intact. He's not just there for the payday alone, I think it's fair to say. But the one question I've got for you before we end all of this is, in terms of the current product right now, what did last night's episode of Raw do for the current product, and more importantly, for the current storylines? I realise that last one's a bit loose because realistically, we don't always stick to canon, but
For the current product, it'll have got a short-term boost in ratings, which you hope some people will stick around for. What reason you've given them to stick around in terms of storylines, I don't quite know. They might literally all tune in next week to see if Bray Wyatt attacks anybody.
quite possibly.
That's it.
I think storyline-wise, the only one I really noticed that might be classed as having moved a fraction forward is maybe the Natalya and the Becky Lynch thing.
Well, yeah, they
had
had
a
a bit
moment
of
of
a
bliss
fight,
and they had a
didn't
fight.
they?
But
Yeah.
even then, Natalya was spent so much time talking that it ended up making her look daft because she lost her way in the backstage promo, and you could see her physically trying to claw her way back to where she needed to
Hey,
be
good
at the
bat.
end. Hey,
Nice cat.
your mate. Sorry, not that
My-
I'm shooting on your
my
best pal,
mate,
of course. But yeah, I don't really see. I'm not surprised, but this hasn't exactly filled me full of like. There's 3 great storylines that came out of this. Just remember Raw 1000. That's the one I compare it to. Like, moved all of that forward. CM Punk
Raw
coming out of
1000
there,
was great.
shining at the end of that episode, and we haven't had something like that since.
No, in fact, what we got was Raw 26. I think it's safe to call it. I can't take full credit for that.
Yeah,
that's
true.
That's Sidgwick's joke, not mine.
Right.
I can't take full credit for that.
Of
but there,
course
it's
it
all
is.
yours.
Of course it is.
We normally get in these situations and we go, this bit was good, and this bit
Yeah.
was bad, and everyone in the comments is like, no, it was all good, or no, it was all terrible.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hit us with that. Let us know what you made of Raw 26, the official title, in the comments below. Of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I want to be high on this. I do want to be high on this, but I'm really struggling to find reasons to be high on this. So please, please, please do give us some if you possibly can. But of course, otherwise you can get him on Twitter. Where can they do that?
You can do that at It's Adam Nicholas, and you can find him on Twitter at
Adam Cleary, forgot there, CLERY. The What Culture family
There
is
it
available for you at What Culture WWE. But in the meantime, guys, that was that was what it was. At the end of the day.
Absolutely.
So
Tell you
thanks.
what, let's go off on this. Let's put that picture of Seth Rollins back up. I enjoyed that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, that's that. So in the immortal words of the road dog Jesse James, we sat through DX, we sat through the Click. Y'all better get to stepping.
Nope.
And you better get to stepping quick.
I'm out. Not today, sir. Not today.
Bye, everybody.